But the big games just keep coming, don't they? Tottenham and Arsenal go head-to-head tonight. It's a crunch North London derby. Champions League qualification, very much the prize on offer. Nobody better than this man, Simon, to join us live here in studio. He played 500 games in his career. He scored no fewer than 244 goals. He played with distinction for Tottenham and then had a curious 63, 64 days at Arsenal. It can only be Clive Allen, and it is. Clive, how are you, mate?
Good morning. I'm very good, thank you.
Good to see you. What happened at Arsenal? For
I
those
don't
who
know.
don't know.
I don't know. All I knew that Terry Venables wanted me at Palace. Arsenal wanted Kenny Sanson, and a trade was done. So my grand total of 63 days as an Arsenal player ended, and I was at Selhurst Park.
How'd you look back in that, Clive?
I grew up very quickly, Jim.
Yeah.
It was quite an experience. I was 18. 63 days before, I was front page news, whereby they said the game has gone crazy because I was the first £1 million transfer for a teenager. So I had that around my neck, a price tag, I always said that the year at Palace was a difficult year. I think, sorry to say that, Simon, it was a difficult year. It was a tough school to go into, it really was. Some hardened professionals who didn't accept me readily because I had that price tag. I was a young upstart, and it took me. I grew up very quickly. I left QPR as a boy, and almost a year to the day, I returned to Queen's Park Rangers, and I say as a man, with Terry Venables as my manager once again.
You remember that time?
Clive knows he was my favourite player, and Jim Gregory was the QPR chairman, wasn't he?
That's right.
And Ron was
Nodes
at Palace and saw an opportunity to get some money somewhere along the line for Kenny involved in the equation. And I remember Clive, he knows this, I've said it many times, the goal he scored away that was not allowed against Coventry, where he hit the ball so hard it came out the back of the stanchion away to Coventry, and we weren't given the goal, and we went on to lose that game 3-0, I think, didn't we?
And went on a terrible run.
Afterwards, and then Venables went off and did his own thing, because that's Terry Venables, and the rest of it fell apart because he came into a team that had previously been called the team of the 80s, got promoted in 79, done okay in the first season, and then just fell apart. And you joined at the time that all the wheels were coming off, and there was an older squad, and people were a little bit in need of change, and the attitude needed changing a bit.
I'll tell you a very quick story about that. We were away with the England under-21s, which Terry Venables was the coach, and he didn't travel with us.
John Cartwright as well, wasn't it?
And John Cartwright, who was a very, very good youth team coach, and Terry's assistant at Crystal Palace. And Vince Hilaire, who was one of the Crystal Palace youngsters
very
at the
talented
time, fabulous player, got on the plane having been told by the press that Terry had left Palace to go to Queen's Park Rangers. He couldn't believe it. Terry was like his father, not his manager, his coach.
Yeah, sure.
And I think there was 4 or 5 of us who were Crystal Palace players at that time.
Billy Gilbert.
Under-21 internationals. And we lost the manager, travelling away to play an England under-21 game, and the manager had gone to QPR.
How mad is that?
It was crazy.
So that was then, this is now. How big is this North London derby tonight?
Jim, it's as big a London derby, I think, because of the prize that I can remember. Tottenham Arsenal, always fierce rivalry, big game, no doubt about that. But the prize is enormous. The prize is the future, the next 6 months, where the clubs are financially, the market that they're going to be dealing in. If they're a Champions League team, completely different dimension to not qualifying for that top 4 spot. So it is a big game for both teams.
Clive, in here, Simon and I talk about Conte and Arteta virtually every day. On this one, Conte says he wasn't expecting Tottenham to be in the Champions League race.
I knew very well at that time which situation was in front of me, because the team was maybe 9th in the table, no? And I knew very well that the situation wasn't good, and only a crazy at that moment can imagine that with the 2 games to go, now we are in the race for a place in Champions League. The club didn't ask me, we are appointing you to go for a place in Champions League or for a place in UEFA. I think they appointed me to try to improve the situation, and now I think that we have to be proud that after a difficult season in many aspects for the club, we are in this race.
I mean, Conte was born for an occasion like this, wasn't he? He loves a showdown, a street fight.
Absolutely, and Jim, his brief when he was appointed was to get Tottenham into the top four. There's no doubt about that for me. He's done a good job. We're in a position where we are still alive in that respect, but we have to win tonight. I think that's imperative with the last 3 games that are winnable. Obviously, they have to win that tonight. Burnley at home and then Norwich away. I think he's looking at it and he believes that they can do it.
Yeah. Arteta's getting used to being around Arsenal and the responsibility that goes with it. And he's admitted, Clive, he understands why Wenger used to refer to getting into the top 4. Oh, it's like winning a trophy.
I hear that quote now many times from many different managers, and Arsene, I think he was the first one who said it, because he could probably see what was happening in this league and the difficulty of achieving that. Is the way he described it, and is the way he felt it, which is more important. I feel that for the club will be extremely important.
I agree with Clive, though, that there's some artistic licence in what Conte's talked about in terms of the expectations of him. We've had a sort of bumpy ride with him being a bit temperamental during the course of the season, questioning certain things. Do you think, Clive, if Tottenham get into the top 4, it shapes the immediate destiny of Conte and what we're going to see? Because this whole narrative has been, he's going to go. Daniel's going to turn him over. Daniel's not going to give him the money that he needs. Tottenham have got a Rolls Royce of a manager with a mini budget, right? Do you think, come rain or shine, it's going to make a difference? If they don't get into the Champions League, of course it's going to make 30, 40 million quid of a difference. But do you think that will be the defining point of whether Daniel gives the support that Antonio Conte thinks he should have?
Simon, you know, and I think there's absolutely no doubt that the financial implications are immense, certainly for Spurs, the position they're in, stadium that they're paying for, the budgets for players, the players that they're going to be attempting to bring in. And there's no doubt he's spoken to Conte. What do you look for next season? What do we need next season to be a Champions League team and be qualifying for the Champions League year in, year out? Because that is where Spurs are pitching themselves. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So this is why it is so massive, so vital.
Where is this won and lost tonight then, Clive?
I think experience. I think in terms of handling the situation, I think Spurs front 3 have been fantastic. There's no doubt. Son and Kane are superb. Kulusevski's been added, has certainly given him another dimension on the right side, left-sided player on the right side. I make comparisons with one of the best wingers that I play with, Chris Waddle. The way that Kulusevski plays, the way that he plays into front players, goes and joins, and that's praised itself because Chrissy was unbelievable. But Kulusevski's come in, done really well, and it really is going to be. I think Spurs just hold the upper hand because there's a lot of youngsters in that Arsenal side. It's going to be one of the biggest occasions, I think, in their careers to date that they've got to handle.
You know, he's right, Simon. I think of Kulusevski and I think of Chris Waddle as well. I mean, a real comparison there.
But I think the signings that he's made have made Tottenham infinitely better.
Yeah.
The 2 boys that he brought in, and I think Romero is a work in progress, but he's a hell of a centre back. And if he knocks out some of the casualness at times when he's looking to knock Hollywood balls, then he's going to have a real centre back there.
He's a good old fashioned defender.
Yeah.
He likes to tackle. He likes.
You saw it against Leicester, didn't you?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Criticism was deployed backwards, but I think Conte's starting to stamp his footprint on this side. What do you make of Arteta? What's your overall? So, I mean, at the beginning of the season, we were like, is he going to survive this? And he had to win away to Watford or Norwich, I think it was, to get himself back on track.
Now he's got a new contract.
But now he's in a situation
and I think he's earned that contract. I really do, in the way that he's gone about it, because there's no doubt there were some tricky moments for him. But I think the way he's developed those young players, I think he's had a lot of faith in those young players. He's identified the talent that they have, what they can bring to the team. Nketiah's scoring goals, and they're still saying that it might be an addition of a goal scorer next season. But the young boy's done really well.
How do you think you handled Aubameyang? There's 2 camps. There's get him out of the club because he's a pest and a captain that was letting everybody down, or you should have kept him and managed the problem. What did you make of his handling of it?
I think when you work with players day to day, you understand what they've got and what they're giving you. And obviously, he wasn't happy with what Aubameyang was producing. I think when he first came in, his goal scoring was fantastic. They won the FA Cup, but over the long term, I think he would have looked at the youngsters, the players that he was bringing through, the players that he would have a control and he could influence.
He actually was polluting it,
and he was going, right, I need to make that change. That is a very, very brave and strong move from him. Yeah. Absolutely. So I think he deserves the credit for that. He's earned a new contract. Arsenal made fantastic strides under Arteta. I don't think they would have truly expected to be in 4th place at this moment of the season.
Big game tonight, though.
Clive Allen, who wins it tonight?
Spurs win it. I have to say that. I had 63 days as an Arsenal player. I had 10 years as a playing for Tottenham. So I just feel that maybe Tottenham have a little bit more experience and can deal with the situation, the pressure pot that it will be tonight at the Tottenham Stadium.
Clive, brilliant having you in the studio. Clive Allen takes, maybe unsurprisingly, Tottenham to win it. We shall see. Coming up to 11.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.